Who is saying that?
Discernible.
How would you know that God doesn't dictate what's possible? How would you know that?
Well, when I think about what it means for God to dictate all possibility, every option I come up with ends with at least one possibility not being dictated.
That's not a fucking answer to my question. I get pissed when I ask a very simple and clear question. You're not answering the question.
Yeah, God does not dictate all possibilities.
Yeah, what was the question I asked you, numbnuts? I've
How do
dealt
I know
with you
God does not
before.
dictate
I
all
have a note.
possibility?
You know what? You know why I'm treating you this way? I have a note in your account from long ago. You've
Yeah,
done
the
the
argument's in
same
the side chat.
bullshit. You did the same bullshit a long time ago, and you're doing it again. I asked you a very simple and clear question. Did you give me a straightforward answer?
Yeah, the answer is in side
No,
chat.
no, you didn't. Okay, you know what? Mute his mic. Okay, this guy's a total
The
bullshitter.
argument's
Here,
in side
I'll
chat.
tell you. Mute his microphone. You're done.
You could
Okay,
just talk about what's
I'll
in
quote.
side chat.
Hold on a second.
Right?
I'm going to turn you.
It's right there. Like, Bach, do you want to talk about the argument in side chat?
No.
Notice again, the bullshitting continues. These people are shameless bullshitters. You ask them a straightforward question, and they just jibber jabber. They do not give a straightforward answer, and they do this on purpose.
Yeah,
They're
my straightforward
disgusting.
answer is that God does not
I
dictate
want
all
a straightforward
possibility.
answer. How do you know that God, the mind, the purpose, and the plan of God doesn't dictate all that is and cannot be?
Because dictating possibility is an undictated possibility.
What the fuck does that mean?
I explain in side chat.
Okay, I'm not looking at the side chat, numbnuts.
Okay. So
you know what I put a note in your account? Okay, long ago. I put, don't talk to again. You're a nut job.
Yeah. So does
God
dictate
doing
the possibility
again.
of dictating possibility?
Okay. Listen to me. In order to say that the mind, the purpose, and the plan of God does not dictate what is and can be, you're going to be able to need to deploy the law of non-contradiction. So you're going to need to know and defend what it is singularly and concretely that does dictate what is and cannot be. What is that?
Well, ironically, immediately before this, I did defend non-contradiction.
No, you're not answering my question. What is it that is identifiable on a grand metaphysical scale that dictates all that is and cannot be? What is that?
There is no being that does that.
How do you know that?
Because it's unnecessary.
Okay, how do you know that?
Yeah, the job doesn't need to be done.
Okay, you know what? You know what, dude. Either you're incredibly deceptive, either you're incredibly deceptive, or you're borderline psychotic. In order to say what's not necessary, okay, if nothing is anything ultimately necessary?
Are you Protestant?
No particular being or set of beings is, no.
Okay, and how could you know that?
Because every particular being and set of beings can be thought as not existing.
How do you know this? Do you know this by reason? Do you know this by experience?
Yeah, if you think of something as not existing, that's purely imagination, right? You can have a being
okay,
in your head,
okay.
And then have it poof out of existence.
You see, folks, the guy's borderline psychotic. He's a nut job. Can we mute him, please?
What denomination are you?
This just falls out of a rejection of the ontological argument.
Please mute. Okay, is Bach still here? Who's the mod in here?
This just falls out of the rejection of the ontological argument.
Yeah.
The argument's inside chat.
Dude, you're not talking to me. You're just jibber jabbering. Okay, this is why I wrote the note in your account. Do you have any sense of self-reflection? Do you think I'm just being an ass to you? You have mental problems, dude. You couldn't possibly know this bullshit.
I mean, just look at the first premise of option 2, dude. This is like just
I'm not even going to waste my time looking at that crap. The guy couldn't even give a straightforward answer.
Just saying, it's
why
like
in
it's
the world. Let me look at the date I wrote the note.
I mean, gee, this is just these arguments though are seriously bad.
So back in September and October of 2022, I confronted him that was not answering straightforwardly. He wrote back to me that he was. A month later, I wrote in my notes on him that he's a nut job. Don't talk with him. Okay, he's still not forwardly answering a question. He just said, "Oh, it's not necessary." Well, what is necessary in order for you to tell me what's not necessary? I mean, the guy's a nut job. You know.
Well, Darth, if you'll let me though, let me just confirm what you're saying about the insanity here. Are you still there, Darth?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, so he literally says this. Option 2. I mean, I'm going to reveal this is insanity. This is not normal thinking. He puts God dictates the possibility of dictating possibility. 2, God dictates the possibility of dictating the possibility of dictating possibility. Like, this is incoherent babble.
This is not normal human thinking.
Yeah, it's not. It's like incoherent babble, literally.
Either he has real mental problems, or he actually gets off on being this way.
By the way, I don't believe Darth ever says God dictates possibility. Darth says God dictates what is and what is not, and what can be and cannot be. So, God would be the basis of what is possible.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Yeah, God is the source of possibility and impossibility.
But you don't phrase it as saying God dictates possibility. It's a strange way to say it.
Well, I have said that in the past.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. I say it in a variety of ways. God is the source and the basis of what's possible and impossible. God is the basis of what is and cannot be.
Yeah, I've seen this guy before. I saw this argument. He says anything can happen, but anything would include contradictions. That contradictions can be the case.
Yeah. The guy is totally clear. If anything can be, okay. If what this then means is that intelligibility is then impossible, because something is true can coexist with its negation.
Well, yes, and if anything can be, then if something follows, it could be false. So if we have an argument where the conclusion necessarily follows, well, because the conclusion follows, then it's false, right?
Yeah, I know.
If anything can be.
Yeah, I mean,
the more rational something is, the more false it is.
This is even pointed out in a recent paper that I was reading on performative contradictions, where they gave a list of a variety of different performative contradictions, where and I forget the wording because I'm not going to pull out my iPad right now, but it's the performative contradiction is that something that is true and its denial can coexist. I forget how
the point is he says anything can happen.
Because, I think the question presents an insoluble problem for the claim that God dictates all possibility and impossibility.
Dude, it's madness, bro. Listen, I talk to atheists every day, and I do enjoy talking to reasonable atheists, okay? But you're not a reasonable atheist, dude. Something is definitely wrong in your thinking, and I already told you I'm not addressing this madness. This is not logical, reasonable discussion you're trying to have. This is why when I've talked to you in the past, I've muted you, because it's so absurd that it's just not worth my time.
Well,
okay?
At the very least, you could explain why.
Dude, let me scroll back up. Okay. God dictates the possibility of dictating the possibility of dictating possibility, dude. I'm not even going there. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. That's a weird thing to say, right? Look, I posted options because I was trying to figure out what it means to say God dictates all possibility. So I came up with those 3 options. If you think one of them is crazy, don't blame me. I'm trying to figure out what it means. If you think option 2 is crazy, then drop it and come up with a different one, or pick one of the other ones.
This is, like I said, this is sophistry on methamphetamines.
Yeah. So discernible. The thing is that we're not interested in going down this line of nonsense, because it'll be 2 hours later and we're arguing out definitions and sophistry about.
I'm not asking for definitions.
And it literally gets nowhere.
Listen, discernible, let's just leave it like this. Okay, so if and I'm not going beyond this with you, okay, because I want to stay in the land of sanity. If you create a world, okay, you are an intelligent being that has the capacity to make a simulated world, like World of Warcraft. Are you, as the being who has the capacity to create this world, are you the one that has control over what you potentially put in the world?
Yes.
There you go. Nothing more needs to be said in relation to this. Dude, if God exists, listen, if God exists, he can go through possibilities and potentialities, and he can make the world in relation to that according to his will. Anything beyond this is just becoming silly sophistry.
But what goes on in my World of Warcraft game, that's a subset of all possibilities.
Oh my God.
The claim isn't that God dictates a subset of possibility, it's that it dictates all possibility.
See, this is what I'm saying. We're not interested, bro. We're just not interested in this.
You asked me about a subset of possibilities. That's fine.
Yeah, we're not interested.
You know, discernible. There's wisdom in.
This is why. Hang on, let me just say. Oh, sorry, you're breaking up.
Yeah.
I still can't hear you, objects.
See, this is what Darth. This is what Darth says when he says atheist obfuscate. Now, this man is the perfect poster boy. If I could have his picture on a poster on my wall, it would say obfuscator. Okay, now let me read the definition of obfuscate. To make unclear or hard to understand, especially deliberately. Synonyms: to muddy or to cloud. Number 2, to confuse or to bewilder, to perplex, to muddle, okay? To endarken, okay? This is what he does. So when we're talking about God, okay, in relation to the things that are possible in this world, it is his world. He is Lord of possibilities, okay? And so what he does is, in relation to the possibilities that are possible in his mind, he selects what he wants for the world according to his will. Anything beyond that, you're just trying to obfuscate, dude. Stop obfuscating. I'm not interested in an obfuscating game of sophistry. It's ridiculous. It's silly. It's madness. This is where Jesus would say, "Don't cast your pearls before swine."
So you're accusing me of obfuscation, but when I listed those 3 options, that was me trying to figure out what it was. And asking,
dude, stop. Dude, stop. You know exactly what he is saying. Stop acting like you don't understand. Dude, a 12-year-old could understand this. If you're not getting it, there's something wrong, dude. Like, that's what we're saying. If you can't grasp these simple concepts that a 12-year-old could understand, something's wrong with you.
Yeah,
okay?
And I think what you just described is also a subset of possibilities.
Here we go. See? Dude, the dude, you just can't have a conversation with this, dude. This is not your typical human being. This is like I said, it's like sophistry on methamphetamines.
Look, I was trying to figure something out.
With,
I presented some possibilities.
Curveball. Curveball is somewhat more reasonable usually. So maybe you can actually try the same line of reasoning with them. I don't know if you're here, Curveball.
All right, I was trying to figure something out. I presented some possibilities. And you guys didn't like the possibilities.
Dude, I'm just not interested. Is there anybody interested in talking to Discernible? I'm not.
What's the contention? I don't even understand what the...
So I was trying to figure out what it means to say that God dictates all possibility, right? And so if you look up in chat a little bit, I came up with 3 different things it could mean, and none of the 3 made sense to me. And option 2 doesn't make sense to Bach. And so he's accusing me of being mad.
Well, we should move on. I mean, look, Discernible, he doesn't want to keep going. It is what it is.
This comes off the back that he would not answer Darth Dawkins' simple question. Refusing to answer.
He's obfuscates, dude. He won't answer simple questions that he does comprehend. He'll pretend he doesn't to obfuscate. See, this is why. But dude, this is why you get muted in every room you go into.
Right. He asked me a question, and I posted the answer in the side chat before he answered it.
Dude, you've already had this typed out. Listen, he had this typed out. Listen to what, like, read up or scroll up, guys.
Yeah.
He posts a wall of text. Listen, this isn't something that he just, he was listening to Darth and he sincerely, had these questions. This dude has heard Darth ask the question. He has sat down for probably 6 hours to formulate 3 options and to conclude in every option that God does not dictate possibility. Okay, this is nothing more than, like I said, sophistry on methamphetamines for the sole purpose to obfuscate. Man, this is obfuscation at its best, and it's annoying, dude. Nobody's interested.
Why not just give a 4th option?
I'm not interested.
Do you have any realization that you have mental problems? And I'm not trying to be a jerk, okay? I'm probably old enough to be your father, if not grandfather. You have mental problems. You are not normal. Your reasoning is not normal, even for somebody who's an atheist. This is not normal.
What's wrong with the reasoning I presented?
Dude, okay, all right. You know what? Just mute him, okay? It's like the quote from Cool Hand Luke. Some men you just
nobody's
can't
presented
reach.
a problem.
Yeah, and if he wants to boast of a victory, I will gladly give him the victory.